Hello and greetings this afternoon. I have another story time to tell. Now, the story time that I'm getting ready to tell, I I've told it once before, but I left a couple of things out of the story time that I've told, and this story time has a lot to do with the beauty school that I used to attend in Houston, Texas, on the north side. And the beauty school was in this town called Fifth Ward. Okay, so back then, I'm gonna say this was 2005. I was attending this beauty school in Fifth Ward, and it was two dudes that attended the beauty school. One dude who was Mexican, but he was gay, and a black dude. The black dude attended the beauty school, and it's so funny how he perceived himself when he first started in the beauty school. He was trying to get with everybody. Yeah, he was trying to get with me too. I did like him a little bit, but I don't know. Somehow my beauty school teacher teamed me and him up to do nails. You know, in beauty school you do hair, nails, and facials. I hated doing nails and facials, but I had to do what I had to do in order to get a grade so that I could try to graduate from beauty school and get my beautician license, even though I never did get my beautician license. But it's all right. I learned a lot from that beauty school. This is the first beauty school I ever went to in Fifth Ward, Houston, Texas. So my beauty school teacher used to team me and him up. This dude's name was Ray Sean. This dude was 6'2". He was handsome. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna hate. Even though every time I think about him, I get mad. Kinda can't stand him because of some things that he did. And I really feel like it's because he knew he liked me, but he was liking on every other female. So in front of everybody, he would always act like he couldn't stand me. But he and I both knew what it was. Trust me, he knew what it was. So he used to constantly watch me. And when my beauty school teacher would team me and him up to do facials on each other and to do nails and everything, he he and I had exchanged numbers. And so I used to stay after hours at the beauty school because I hated where I lived at over there at the time in Fifth Ward. The apartment complex that me and my family stayed in, I hated that damn apartment with a passion. It was a snake wooded area, and lizards used to be coming up in the apartment and hiding and peeking out, and oh my god. But okay, I digress. But this was Fifth Ward. I was attending this beauty school. Me and the only dude, because the other guy that was attending the beauty school, he was gay. But this dude was definitely straight, and he had a girlfriend and everything. And only his girlfriend knew how hoish he was. That nigga was fucking hoish, for real, for real. All the shit that he tried. Okay, let me get into the story. Let me get into the meat and potatoes of the story. When he and I used to work together in the classroom, my beauty school teacher teamed us up to do nails and facials and all this bullshit and that you do in beauty school. And like I said, we exchanged phone numbers. And then he said, I always see you cross the street where the train tracks is at and getting on the bus. And I just want to let you know, if you need a ride, don't hesitate to ask. Because you and I are friends, and I'm always willing to help out anyone who's struggling, and you're a young woman, and I see that you trying to get home and it be hot outside and everything. And so okay, well, I'm like, okay, that's cool then. I'll start riding with you. So he's like, well, how about today? Could you ride with me today? Could you let me ride? Could you let me give you a ride home today? I'm like, yeah. The minute we left the beauty school and he was packing up his briefcase with all these beauty school stuff in it, spray bottles, butterfly clips, rat tail combs and stuff, and I got in the car with him, the first topic he talked about, he was telling me, I want to invite you to come and have drinks with me after beauty school sometime. And then we can get a room. I'm like, what you mean we can get a room? I'm like, having drinks with you, that sounds cool. And then I said, all the girls that I see you flirting with, putting your arm around, and why is it that you chose to ask me out for drinks and not them? And he's like, because it's just something special about you. He's like, you're very pretty, and I see how you carry yourself. You stay to yourself, and you're not all ghetto and ratchet and rowdy like these other girls. I'm like, I bet you say that to all the girls. So I'm gonna say a month later, he gives me a ride. No. This is when, a month later, this is when I had came from theory class, and I was walking down the stairs to come to the salon area of the beauty school and set up my station and put my spray bottles and sanitize my chair and put my mannequin out on the stand. And he was talking with this fat girl, and she was in the same class with us at the beauty school. So he decided to, like, I don't and I've told this story once before. He gonna say to me in front of her, he's like, "So what's up?" Yeah, I'm like, nothing. What's up? He's like, "You gonna let me give you a ride home?" And he's like, if you wanna go out on a date, just let Daddy know. And I'm looking at him, and I look at her, and she's smirking, and I'm like, "What you mean?" Um, but anyway, he did a client that came in for a roller set. I did a client that came in for a roller set, and these was old, elderly people. And she did a client that came in for a roller set. And so after we did our clients and put them under the dryer and everything, she got in her car and she left, and then I left and got in the car with him. Now, on this particular day, which I've kind of told this story once before, a year ago, on this particular day, before he drives me home, he stops at the liquor store. And he go in, I feel like it was alcoholic, because he drank that whiskey straight. And I was like, "Wow, you like to drink, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want a sip?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Do you have to go straight home? Do you have any babies to tend to?" I'm like, "No, I don't have no babies. And I don't have to go straight home." I'm like, "Why? What's up?" He's like, "Because I just want to spend a little time with you." So we go and we park into this. We park at the park, near the park area by where I live at. And he turns the music on in the car, and he's still sipping on the whiskey, and he looking at me, and he's like, well, he starts rubbing my thigh, and then he's like, "You're so pretty." I'm like, "Thank you." He kneels over to kiss me. We kiss. I think we kissed about 3 times. Then he's like, "Won't you just, come chill with me, and I'll bring you back home at night. We can go get a room." I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that with you." He's like, "Why?" See, that's that shit I'm talking about. You acting stuck up. I'm like, "I'm not acting stuck up. I just don't want you to go back and tell what me and you do. And I do not want, right after me and you beating did that, I do not want you to be acting funny with me." He's like, "I'm not gonna do you like that." And I'm like, "I don't know." So we started kissing again. And he starts to touching me near my breast area. I started touching him. And then he say, "Well, you might as well climb in the back seat." I'm like, "I'm not, I told you I'm not having sex with you." He's like, don't be that way, because like if you teasing me, and you kind of making me a little mad. He's like, if you don't have sex with me today, When I see you in the beauty school tomorrow, don't talk to me. I don't want to fuck with you no more because I feel like you're teasing me. I'm like, dude, you need to put that motherfucking drink down. I'm not teasing you. It is what it is. All we doing is stuff that people who are friends with benefits do. But why are you so in a rush to get me to go get a room with you? I told you I don't want to do that with you because I feel like after we do that, you're going to go back and talk about me. Now, keep in mind of me saying that, okay? Because although we never did have sex that day, all we did was kiss each other and embrace and touch each other. He was a little mad, but he got over it, and sipping on that whiskey, and that was his happy juice and everything. Okay, so he dropped me off at my house, and he's like, I see you tomorrow at school. I'm like, okay, cool, I see you tomorrow. So the very next day at the beauty school, this nigga had an attitude. And, my beauty school teacher put me at his station to work on a lady's jerry curl. Now, it wasn't my ideal to be at his station, where his desk at, where his chair at, where he set up at. That was our teacher who told me to sit up there and do the lady's jerry curl. And he walks in late, looking crazy. And I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, what you doing at my station? You need to move. Your station is not over here. Your station and your chair is around the corner. I'm like, first of all, you don't have to come here with no attitude. And second of all, I will move out of your fucking station. He's like, what you cursing for? I said, because, dude, like, what's wrong with you today? Like, you wasn't acting like that yesterday. And you remember what happened like yesterday. I was whispering at this point because it was a lot of females up there that really liked him, and I didn't want our business to be spread. Now keep that in mind too, because I'm about to tell y'all exactly what his dirty ass did towards me. So I'm gonna say a month later, we're all in theory class, and this chick who was from Bunkie, Louisiana, and she sat in the back just like me and him did, way in the back of the class. You know how people sit in the back because they don't want to be called on to answer questions and shit. So it's the same way at beauty school, just a little different. So she looks at me and she said, hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up? She's like, I heard something about you. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, just like you heard something about me, I heard something about you too. She's like, what you hear? I said, I'll tell you after class. So my beauty school teacher looks at me and her, and he's like, "What are you two chattering about?" I'm like, "It's nothing." And she starts laughing. And then she says, you have people in your theory class who take rides from just anybody, taking rides home. So like, she's like throwing out a hint at me. So the next thing I knew, when it was break time, every time for everybody to go to lunch, I was friends with this Pakistan chick, and she liked him as well, even though she was married. Always in his face, and but I digress. People show a different face, even though they are married. They still be hoish. But she told me that, because me and her were friends and we was having lunch. She's like, Rayshawn going around telling some of the girls, when he told me too, especially, that when he gave you a ride home last month, that you were all over him, and he had to tell you to leave him alone because he have a girlfriend. I'm like, I know this motherfucker didn't. I know the fuck he didn't. I'm like, what in the fuck he mean I was all over him? She was like, he just saying that you was trying to kiss on him and give him a massage, and he's like, he admitted that he did kiss you, but he's like, after y'all kissed, you was trying to get on top of him in his car and all and do it with him. I'm like, this motherfucker is lying. He's lying. I'm like, and he messy as fuck, just like a female. And I wonder, like, what kind of man he is anyway, because, like, even though he was attending beauty school, and the beauty school I did attend, they did teach barber, he was going for his barber license. But it just didn't seem realistic to me that a man like him at the time should be going to beauty school. But I'ma just let that sit there. So I waited until, I'm gonna say, a week later, and I saw him by himself, and it was lunchtime. And I walked up to him. I'm like, what is this I hear about you going around talking about what the fuck you and I did when you gave me a ride in your car? He's like, I ain't say shit. I'm like, you're a fucking lie. You're a fucking liar. Yes, you did. He's like, look, I gave you an offer. I asked you to go get a room with me. You try to be all stuck up and shit and high and mighty, and told me no. And that's what it is. And I feel like you're just mad because I don't give you rides anymore. I'm like, motherfucker, you are a fucking liar. And you don't be going around telling stuff. If you told, and then he did tell me several times not to go back and spread, what me and him did. Even though all we did was kiss and touch on each other in his car. But I just didn't think that he would be a bitch ass, messy enough half of a female type of dude to go back and make it seem like I was all over him when it was the motherfucking opposite. This nigga was drinking that day. He was all over me. Another thing I forgot to mention when I told this story a year ago, he tried to unzip my pants in his car. He acted as if he wanted to rape me. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, like, if he told me not to say nothing, he told me to keep our business about what shenanigans we had going on to myself. I just felt like why he had to act like a bitch and go back and say that I'm the one who was all over him when he know damn well it was the total fucking opposite. He was all over me. Like, gonna ask me to jump in the back seat of his car. I'm like, dude, no. But I'm about to end this story time because I am a little bit exhausted. I kind of have a migraine because I've been walking out there in the heat, trying to get exercise, but this is the end of the story time about the guy in beauty school who was friends with me, but he was trying to fuck everybody. But this is the end of this story time, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. And until then, stay blessed.